this one. What is a huge game for both teams. Kentucky's trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Mississippi State trying to climb above 500 here for the November stretch run. Cowbells have been ringing all night. They're honoring the 1998 team that played for an SEC championship. And here's this year's version of the Bulldogs trying to make more noise here at home in Starkville. Zach Arnett's squad looking for its second conference win in the last 3 weeks. They got Arkansas a couple of weeks ago, and they can make some noise if they can take down Kentucky here at home tonight. Here come the Bulldogs. Ready to go here tonight. It's Mississippi State and Kentucky. Tom Hart, Coach Kublik. We got Alyssa Lang down on the field. Make no mistake about it. This is a pivotal game for both teams. Kentucky had a magnificent start to the season. They've now lost 3 in a row. Mississippi State with more transition than anybody in the offseason. Kind of opportunistic right where they want to be.
Absolutely. And you look at this home stretch. We talked to Zach Arnett yesterday, Tom. He said, I've been telling my young guys, your season's usually over. Ours is just beginning. Both of these teams' rivals having good seasons. You want to stack up wins and build some momentum before you get to that final game.
Well, Kentucky had momentum. They didn't lose a game in September. Then October rolled around. They didn't win a game. Now it's November. With the calendar flipped, they may be throwing the ball better than they have all season. Devin Leary looked like a different quarterback against Tennessee last week.
He did. And it wasn't all on Devin Leary and his receivers, although his receivers, who led the nation in drop rate going into that football game, did step up and make some plays. But they got heavy boxes to take Ray Davis away. There was man coverage on the outside, and Tennessee only rushed for the majority of that football game. That allowed Devin Leary to be able to go out and operate, put up career-type numbers, and have an excellent day. Hoping to capitalize on that with a little extra confidence. And Liam Cohen, that Kentucky offensive coordinator, wants to build on that tonight and see if they can follow it up with another great day from their QB.
And Alyssa, as you learned this week, wasn't just the quarterback, it was his wide receivers and tight ends too.
You guys talked about that heavy box that we saw against Tennessee, not only last week, but you've seen it from opposing defenses for this Kentucky Wildcat offense all season long. Talking to wide receiver Dane Key this week, he says it's an extra motivating factor for this Kentucky wide receiver room. They see opposing defenses saying, we're going to stop the run and make you beat us in the pass game. He said, all right, we're going to go out and win our one-on-ones despite not getting the win last week. Like you guys said, that passing game looking as good as ever so far.
Kentucky won the toss. They've elected to defer, so we'll see State on offense to start. And what we won't see is a starting quarterback running back duel. Will Rogers unavailable tonight. Woody Marks unavailable tonight. It's once again Mike Wright, who's got 13 SEC starts under his belt at quarterback.
And it's a difficult transition. You made a big enough transition as it was, going from the air raid to Kevin Barbay's offense. Now you have to transition to more mobility at quarterback. Mike Wright's not a polished passer. He has the skill set to be able to hurt you with his arm, but Kevin Barbay has had to design some things to be able to try to help him out. What do you do to help him out? Get the football to your playmaker. Tulu Griffin, to me, the most explosive player on this Mississippi State offense. Kevin Barbay did a great job early last week, had him in the backfield. Jet sweep, give it to him quickly, but it didn't continue throughout 4 quarters of football. Tonight, see if Mississippi State can continue to keep Tulu going for the entire game.
Speedster out of Philadelphia, Mississippi is as versatile as they come. This is a series that began in 1990, and Mississippi State has won 6 in a row here. In fact, Bob Stoops in Kentucky came closest in his year 1 at the helm at Lexington, but otherwise blown out on the trips here since. Tulu Griffin and Xavier Thomas back to receive. Chance Poore puts it in the air. And no return for Mississippi State. Vanderbilt transfer Mike Wright makes his 3rd consecutive start for State. Last year against Kentucky, he was a wizard. Went 12 of 23 through the air. He threw for 184. He ran for another 128, scored a couple of touchdowns. And Mark Stoops telling us yesterday, yeah, of course, both sides have watched that film. He was tough to contain, and that'll be a key for this Kentucky defense tonight. We'll see how creative they get. Missing some key players on the offensive side. And they've got Seth Davis, freshman out of Katy, Texas, his first carry. He got decleated. Pardon me, it's Jeffrey Pittman with the first touch.
Well, you love to see Trevin Wallace, 32, in white over there making a play, dumping the running back here early. Wallace been a little bit dinged up here in the last couple of weeks, but he is the heartbeat of this Kentucky Wildcats defense.
11 tackles against Tennessee. Didn't play a few weeks ago against Missouri before the bye week. Right on the little rollout, trying to use his legs, and incomplete to the near side, and Tulu Griffin. And that'll leave State with a 3rd and 8.
I like Kevin Barbay moving the pocket early, Tom, but that ball probably needed to come out a little bit sooner from Mike Wright. Now, this is not where you want to live in 3rd and long if you're Kevin Barbay in this Mississippi State offense.
Right through for 161 against Auburn last week with 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Also a touchdown and a pick against Arkansas, filling in for Will Rogers, a senior from Brandon, Mississippi. He ran into him yesterday. He guaranteed he'd be back for the Egg Bowl. He said, even if my arm fell off. Deep down the sideline and incomplete. Coverage deep downfield on Justin Robinson coming from Maxwell Hairston. He's the SEC leader in picks with 5 of them.
Maxwell Harrison's had a big year. Felt like a lot of contact down the field. Misses the jam. Trying to make up for some extra time. See that right hand on the jersey, maybe just a little bit too much. Don't get the call, but I'll tell you this, Tom, I like Mike Wright early, finding the one-on-one coverage with Justin Robinson, probably their best 50-50 ball guy, going up and allowing him to attempt to make a play.
He was on him like a turtleneck. You kidding me? Keelan Crimmins will punt it away. Tayvion Robinson back. State goes 3 and out on its first, and not a great punt. It'll check up at about the 37-yard line. 35-yard punt. We've got some pushing and shoving over on the Kentucky sideline after the conclusion of that play. No flags yet. Didn't take long for the emotions to spill over. No love lost between these two programs. The home team has had a distinct advantage and recent history.
I tell you what, we're going to talk about it later. You see these logos on these helmets and these throwback uniforms, the 98 team out here before the game. It kind of feels right for that to happen. That was a team that they were kind of the Dale Earnhardts of the SEC back then. They won with intimidation in a lot of different ways. Physicality. Did a little dance on the sideline pre-kick. A lot of trash talking. That Joe Lee Dunn defense came after you. They were not fun to play against, I can tell you that.
Well, the officials just called both teams together, had a long conversation right at what would be the line of scrimmage. And you can imagine what that conversation was about. Devin Leary, 34th career start tonight for the senior from Sicklerville, New Jersey, by way of NC State. Next to him in the backfield is the SEC rushing leader, Ray Davis. And Davis will get a crack at it on first down. It gets taken down by the ankle thanks to Jed Johnson, 6th most tackles in football. Johnson's 85th of the year. Here's what happened at the end of that punt after the State possession. A little extra pushing and some shoving. DeCarlos Nicholson got at the bottom of that. But Robinson may have taken a swing at him when he was down there. On 2nd and 12, touch pass to Barion Brown.
Talking to Liam Cohen before the game, Tom, Kentucky offensive coordinator, I said, do you feel like you need to go east-west early? Make these interior defensive linemen run. Get this defense looking to the sideline. He said, I like where your mind's at. But a great job by this State defense so far. Playing the edges, not getting too far upfield, playing off of some blocks by that Kentucky offensive line.
3rd down 7 for the Cats. Pressure up the middle. Leary goes right where the pressure came from. Tayvion Robinson's going to pick up the first down by a yard, and Kentucky keeps the possession moving. Mookie Watson was all over Leary that time. Kentucky's going to go tempo here.
And this is an area where Devin Leary was aided last week, speeding things up just a little bit.
Leary looking to go deep. Over the middle, wide open. Tayvion Robinson. 37-yard gain for Kentucky.
He forced the defense to get set. Single safety look, and Tayvion Robinson lined up in the slot. He runs the post right down the middle of the field. Safety gets turned around. Sean Preston Jr. unable to get back turned around and make that play. There you see the post coming right into your screen. Preston's going to be off to the left. Can't make up the ground. That's where that tempo really does help out, not just the quarterback, but the entire offense.
Get a little bigger, added a tight end, Josh Caddis, to this formation. Shifts and motions, what Liam Cohen wants to do to get this Bulldog defense off balance. Davis spins on the first contact. Gain of 2. Corey Ellington with the tackle for Mississippi State.
That's a young man, Tom. You just mentioned his name. He's playing great football right now for this Mississippi State defense. Corey Ellington, whether it's near the line of scrimmage, back in coverage, physicality for a safety, he does not shy away. We were talking about that 98 team. Reminds me of maybe a Pick Prather who used to come down close to the line of scrimmage and play the run for some of those 90s Bulldog teams.
He's making his 4th consecutive start at safety with Hunter Washington injured. Davis the lone back. Play action. Leary nowhere to go, and he gets taken down as he slings it, and it falls incomplete. It was Mookie Watson, who had 17 tackles against Kentucky last year, and the SEC sack leader wasted no time getting in the backfield.
Well, he's the best pass rusher on this football team, and he's won one-on-ones almost all season, slide protection, but you see big 77 Jeremy Flax come off, but Mookie Watson's able to get the win. He does an excellent job utilizing his hands. A lot of linebackers, they're like Ram Man, running through a wall, the old He-Man character when they blitz. Mookie Watson understands how to win those one-on-ones, use hands, use leverage, and get to the backfield.
3rd down, 8. And Kentucky has to use a timeout. Play clock was getting late.
This is the first of the half.
Opening drive for Mark Stoops, and the Cats have already converted 1. 3rd down. Looking to open the scoring here in Starkville. Well, looks like a Starkville party. Now State just trying to get a stop on 3rd and 8. Keep a goose egg on the scoreboard if they can. They've won 6 straight home games against Kentucky. Last time they lost, Sylvester Kroom was coaching State. Rich Brooks was the head coach at Kentucky. Home team has alternated wins in this series. It dates all the way back to 1914.
Tight end Jeremy Dingle was big last week, Tom.
Barion Brown in motion. Leary able to connect with Dane Key. Hit short, and he stepped out of bounds without a stretch. And the spot's going to be right on the line to gain. Marcus Banks delivered the hit. And they're just waiting for a ball to spot it. All Key had to do was extend it going out of bounds, but it'll be a 1st down regardless. By a toe. So 1st and goal from the 4 for the Cats. They're going to go and look at this and put it under further review. And Cole, it seems like it would have been real simple for Key to take all the questions out of it. But he just kind of eased out of bounds right at the marker.
Like you said, just get that ball out, extend it a little bit. Not very difficult to pick up 1st down yardage, though. I like the play. Leary gets to his check down, something he didn't do a lot of last week. Didn't like what he had in zone coverage. Get a little crossing route. He's going to get north and south. As soon as you catch that football, I don't even think he had to go all the way to the sideline, Tom.
So he's got to get it to the 4. His foot is out of bounds shy of it, and the ball, that's where you got to decide where was the ball when his foot touched down out of bounds. And this could be the difference in settling for 3 or being able to punch it in and find 7 on this opening drive. Collaborative replay in the SEC. Scott Walker is our referee. The headset on is replay official Daniel Boldrick. Ruled a first down on the field.
After review, the ruling on the field, the ball carrier reaching the line of gain stands. First down.
These are 2 teams that are both fighting, scratching, and clawing for any break they can get. And one break, win 1 quarter, win 1 half, and 1 game could make a huge difference in both seasons.
You see the success there Kentucky's had on opening drives. Gives you an idea what Liam Cohen's able to put together with his pregame scripts throughout the course of the week.
All 58 yards in this drive have come through the air for Kentucky. To the end zone. Beautiful catch by Sumo-Karngbaye. And it's a 4-yard touchdown. Demie Sumo-Karngbaye was a teammate of Devin Leary at NC State. He's been fantastic out of the backfield.
How about the toss, though, from Devin Leary? You're coming hard off play action. Ball's got to come out pretty quick, and he just floats it right up over the top. The coverage is not terrible. Sean Preston Jr. just a little bit late coming back over, but if that's not a perfect throw, he might have a chance to make that play and bat it down.
Sumo-Karngbaye puts a catch on the board. Alex Rayner on for the point after. And Kentucky is able to score on its opening drive on an 8-play, 62-yard drive that took 4 minutes off the clock.
Well, Tom, some things that you're good at end up getting you in trouble. And we've talked about Buki Watson, number 14 from Mississippi State at linebacker, the best rusher, best pass rusher that this team has. You're going to see him come inside, and then Sean Preston's going to bite on that play action. Don't need a ton of space in this play. Nice pickup by Flax over on the right side of that offensive line. Devin Leary knows ball has to come out. And he layers that football extremely well, up and over the defense. Allow Sumo-Karngbaye to be able to make that play. Excellent job. Nice catch. Get that toe down. Solid opening drive there for Kentucky. Maybe had a little bit of help, but continues their opening success.
And all of it through the air. Talking with Liam Cohen before the game, he felt, even though as a team they're disappointed in the Tennessee loss Saturday night, it's an offensive unit that afterwards was brimming with confidence, and for good reason. Just the yardage and the numbers they put up, the way they were able to share the ball with that unit. Chance Poore kicks it off. Tulu Griffin will have a chance if he wants it. He is dynamic, elite speed. And couldn't get out of the white shirts, gets taken down at the 15, and we got more pushing and shoving after the play. There are flags down after this skirmish. And you could assume after that Mississippi State that led to a skirmish, that Mississippi State punt, you mentioned the officials had a word with both sides for Kentucky's first down play. So this is a result of the warnings they would have already issued.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, kicking team number 82. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of return. First down.
And in addition, there's an injured player down for Kentucky. Athletic training staff tending to the injured player will get an identification when we return to Starkville in just a moment. Anyway.
And it usually also meant the louder it was after they did that, that you were getting your fanny kicked in. Hand raised a couple times.
Hand raised. Mike Wright at quarterback for Mississippi State. They were at Will Rogers for another game. And they hand off to Xavier Thomas, who got buried in the backfield. It's a loss of 1. Kentucky waiting for that one. Trayvon Ripka.
Boy, excellent job by Ripka. He's the read defender here. Stays home and then gets flat down the line of scrimmage to be able to help make that play. One of his teammates comes up, sets the edge. That forces the cutback, and Ripka's right there at home. Great job by the big defensive lineman.
Seth Davis now in at tailback. Remember, this is a state team not just missing Rogers, but also missing Woody Marks. Davis was a record-setting running back, Katy High School in Texas, and he has a carry for no gain. Josiah Hayes with the stop for Kentucky.
You are seeing things at the point of attack. Watch big 97 right in the middle of your screen. This initial push into the backfield, just a little bit of penetration right there, forces that cutback. That's an excellent job by Josiah Hayes.
So 3rd down. Mike Wright has completed 58% of his passes on the season. Brought in the Vandy transfer as a backup, and down the seam and incomplete, just a hair late behind Tulu Griffin. It'll be another 3 and out. Wright has started this game 0 for 3.
Protection was there. Good job up front by that Mississippi State offensive line, and the footwork of Mike Wright, something that we're going to watch tonight. He keeps that base really wide. Sometimes doesn't allow him to step into his throws and drive those throws. And Kevin Barbay telling us one of the main reasons that he gets errant at times and gets some of those inaccurate passes.
Andrew Austin on to punt it away. Tayvion Robinson back. Cats came after it, and they almost took down the punter. Robinson takes a fair catch at the 32. 7-0 Kentucky with the lead here. Let's get you to the studio. Check in with Dari.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. It is time for the Road to the Championship presented by Mercedes-Benz. Of course, a big one to help determine the West being played in Tuscaloosa. Bama had to punt, and then Jaden Daniels finds a wide-open Malik Neighbors 43-yard touchdown. 5 plays, 85 yards, 7-zip. Tigers in T-Town.
All right, Dari, thanks. Could be a Heisman kind of night for Jaden Daniels if he can keep that up just a couple of hours down the road, hour and a half at 82. Leary on 1st down, connects with Barion Brown, sheds the first and takes it for a 1st down. Pickup of 16 when he probably should have been stopped for a gain of 6.
Free grass. Take what the defense gives you. A lot of cushion there. Barion Brown knows he's going to get the football, make that defender miss, yards after the catch. These are the little things that have not consistently been done throughout the majority of this season that started to show up last week for the Wildcat offense. And Barion Brown, nice job by Devin Leary getting him that football quickly, making the defender miss, picking up some extra yardage.
5 catches and a touchdown last week against Tennessee. State simulates pressure. Cats trying to run it and nowhere to go for Ray Davis. It's a loss of 3.
Boy, Terry Russell flying down from the backside. And the front side of that Mississippi State defense does an excellent job of setting the edge, forcing that play to bounce just a little bit to the outside. And then here comes Russell from the backside to be able to make that play. His big 94, Jaden Crumedy up front with the early penetration.
Second and long for Leary, trying to set up a screen. Ray Davis takes it to midfield where he's dragged down by Jet Johnson. It's a gain of 6. Let's see what they have for a 3rd and long.
Boy, nice job by Jet Johnson playing off that block.
So 3rd and 8, Kentucky taking their time in the huddle. It's a Kentucky team that Ran 56 plays. They run 56 plays on average a game. That's slowest in the SEC. Play clock all the way down to 2. 5-man pressure. Leary hit as he throws and somehow got it off. And Brown was there but incomplete. And Kentucky will have to punt it away.
Watch Ray Davis, Tom, number 1, to the right of your quarterback. This is one of the things NFL scouts are going to love. Blah! Step up, pass pro, square the shoulders, keep a defender off your quarterback. And that ball just a little bit too wide for Barion Brown to be able to haul in.
So Wilson Berry to punt it away. Xavier Thomas is back to receive. Berry, Australian punter, but straight ahead approach. And Thomas with a fair catch call at the 10. It's a 40-yard punt. And we've got a flag on the play. Well, we just can't get through a punt or a change of possession without a little something extra.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 20. That penalty will be enforced, half distance goal, first down.
So it'll be a long field for Mississippi State. When we return, they're already trailing by a touchdown, 7-0 Kentucky. Well, Mississippi State without a key weapon tonight. Woody Marks, the only active player with 1,000 career rush and receiving yards, is once again missing from the lineup. So they're leaning on Jeffrey Pittman and Seth Davis in the backfield, and we'll see some Tulu Griffin as well. And in addition, no Will Rogers tonight. Mike Wright getting the start. And they're coming out at the 5-yard line after that penalty, down a touchdown here. It's past the midway point in the first quarter. Wright's first completion goes to Justin Robinson, and he takes it for a first down. Robinson and Wright grew up together in the south side of Atlanta. Justin started his college career in Georgia, while Wright began his at Vanderbilt. But Mike was walking us through his youth football team that included Robinson, Anthony Edwards, Will Anderson, Brian Branch. Yeah, Anthony Edwards, a guy who's in the NBA now.
I love that he said he's the best Pee Wee football player I've ever seen.
That's amazing. Simeon Rice is now in a tailback for Mississippi State. And a huge hole on the edge and a first down run for Price. Third-year player out of Pensacola, Florida, picks up 16.
Now Kentucky gets caught in a stunt. Watch the right side of your screen. Slanting down inside. Replace defenders. Got to be there quickly. Trevin Wallace got to fly over the top to be able to be outside and make that play. Brad White not too aggressive with those kind of calls, but into the boundary. Probably thought he could get away with one there. Squeeze down inside, take away a run. Instead, you get caught.
This Kentucky defense has had his hands full the last 3 games. Facing 3 of the best offenses they've seen. Right on play action, wants to go deep. Plenty of arm and too much arm. Robinson defended by Andrew Phillips.
I mean, there's no surprise or no doubt about the arm talent that Mike Wright brings to the table. When you see him decide to really push the ball down the field, he can do it. Now, you'd like to allow your receiver to run up under this football. There's no other defender deep, so pull him to that opposite sideline. Lay off that throw just a little bit and allow your big play receiver to go up and make one.
Pittman down in tailback behind Wright. Flag before the snap, and Pittman gets bottled up on a 3-yard gain. Zon Childress in on the tackle for Kentucky.
Offside, defense, number 90, and then the throwing of the snap. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Well, you can understand the frustration for Mark Stoops. His team, the second most penalized in the SEC. They give up 63 yards a game due to flags, and The lack of execution in the flags certainly played a major role in their loss at home to Kentucky a few weeks ago. Pardon me, to Missouri a few weeks ago. Stoops did not like the call. It leaves State with a 2nd and 5. Going to run a reverse here to Xavier Thomas. They're blocking on the edge, and Thomas just a yard short of the first down, it seems. Maxwell Harrison escorted him out of bounds.
And Kevin Barbay told us, Tom, he has designed plays, forced touches essentially for Xavier Thomas and Tulu Griffin. Just a little end around. Keep that defense honest. You see a pretty nice block out front by Antonio Harmon, 81, the tight end for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. He's been exceptional in the last 4 or 5 weeks, really coming into his own as a blocker. And I like force feeding your playmakers the football. Get them in space, allow them to create.
Kevin Barbay from the Jim McElwain tree was at Appalachian State before taking this job. QB sneak, and Wright will push it forward for the first down, and the first 3rd down conversion of the night for Mississippi State. What do the Bulldogs need to do to be explosive and efficient on the offensive side?
Continue to get the football into your playmakers' hands. Xavier Thomas came out of nowhere last week. I did not know he was capable of that kind of a game. If so, allow him those touches. Tulu Griffin, Tom, I think he needs 12 to 15 touches a game. He hasn't hit double-digit touches this season, but he's an explosive playmaker. Find ways to quickly distribute the ball and allow them to make plays.
Barbay was telling us he's got on his play sheet a get him to's list. And the 2 names that he has right there, Xavier and Tulu, got to get the ball to them. Hayes, another tackle.
Well, remember we were here for the Arizona game, Tom? We asked, does Mike Wright have a package? Is Mike Wright going to play? He said, guys, he's one of our most explosive players. I have to get him into the game. So plays like that right there, where you run Mike Wright, give him design runs. Obviously, he's going to have the option to keep the football at times, but don't forget to utilize his playmaking ability as well.
State getting a little bigger. They brought in their big freshman tight end, Malik Ellis. He's trying to lead the way for Wright, who dives forward and going to be just short. I leave 3rd and inches. You got another QB sneak here?
I would think so. I just showed you on the other screen the double team that they had on Deion Walker on that last quarterback sneak. You can get another one of those, you'll pick up a yard, no problem.
Had a great visit with Mike Wright yesterday. They're bringing them together again. That's the 2nd time that this officiating crew has gotten these guys together, and you can only assume, I mean, you've been in the middle of them. This is, hey guys, clean it up, or we're going to start tossing guys. Tom Quick is the umpire. What are those conversations like?
I don't think it really matters, Tom, because you're breathing so hard and you're so tired, and you've been going after these other guys. You're trying to move people off the football.
You didn't listen to him when you guys?
Ain't no way I heard anything he said. We're trying to pick up a 3rd and 1. Get out of my face, guy.
Out of the shotgun. He's got Pittman behind him. And Pittman's able to pick up the first down. Keep this drive going for State. Well, it is chippy out there.
Listen, these are 2 of the more physical football teams in this league, and I think they both take pride in it. You mentioned it in the open, Tom. What did Mark Stoops tell us? Hey, when you're in a hole, there's only one way to get out. You fight your way out of it. Like that's Mark Stoops' blueprint. You can have a bunch of team of fighters, and if you've been around Zach Arnett for 30 seconds, I think you have the understanding of what his team's attitude is going to be.
There's Tulu Griffin in motion. Now they swing it to him on the edge, and he's escorted out of bounds. You referenced what Mark Stoops said in our meeting yesterday. He said, hey, here's where you guys are right now, and you now have lost 3 in a row. If those 3 losses are spread out through the season, maybe you look at things a little bit differently, but you don't. This is what it is. He said, yeah, momentum is a real thing, and you can feel it around a program. You can feel it in the locker room. We're in a pit right now. We're in an absolute pit, and the only way to get out is to fight your way out of it. They still have plenty ahead of them if they can find a win here tonight, snap that 3-game losing streak and try to get some momentum. 10th play of the drive. Wright hands it off to Pittman. Pittman tries to bowl forward, picks up 3.
To follow up with that, Tom, the blessing and the curse of football is things compound. You just mentioned it. If those losses are spread out across the course of the season, there's probably not near as much complaining. There's not near as much concern. Whether it's a drive, it's a game, it's a portion of the season, it's a player, things compound quickly in football. And sometimes it's hard to get out of that rut. It's hard to break bad habits when those things are just sort of stuck in you eternally, and that can be a loss. It can be not finding ways to win. It can be not being able to pick up a pass rush. A lot of different things where you can get in that rut and have to fight your way out.
Kentucky holding on to a 7-0 lead. Mike Wright and Mississippi State looking to answer as they continue their drive as we head to the second quarter. Arnett.
What have you said to them about tempers flaring so far early?
I think both programs have mutual respect for each other and both respect the physicality that one another play with. So they're trying to, show their respect by getting after each other. That's what football's supposed to be.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
That is the most football guy answer I have ever heard. We're going to keep fighting you because we respect you. This will be the 11th play of the drive for State. That's Griffin in motion. And Wright on a little rollout trying to stay behind the line. Finds a first down with Justin Robinson. Beautiful play by the Bulldogs, and there's a flag down after that 20-yard gain.
An eligible player downfield, offense, number 57. 5-yard penalty, third down.
It's the center, Cole Smith. Wright was rolling, had a chance to run. That's tough on an offensive lineman.
Yeah, it's really difficult when you have an idea that your quarterback is moving outside of the pocket. Now you're running play action the opposite direction. You see Cole Smith coming down the screen towards us. Another lineman 3 yards ahead of him, but
They always get the center.
And that play's designed to be out quickly as soon as he gets out in the flat. It wasn't there, so a nice job ad-libbing, but get your lineman in trouble.
Well, leaves 3rd and 10. And Wright is able to fit it in to Xavier Thomas and get some of that yardage back on a 13-yard gain and a fresh set of downs.
Just a bunch formation to the field. You had 2 deep safeties. Pretty good idea you were going to get zone coverage here. A nice read from Mike Wright. And you see those 3 receivers bunched up right there. Wright knew right away that was going to be open. Get that ball out quickly. Excellent read.
They're just trying to grind it out here as Pittman gets a carry and maybe gets a yard. Two of the more deliberate offensive teams in the SEC. And State has already taken 7.5 minutes off the clock on this one drive.
Well, let's stay with your theme, Tom. Talking to Kevin Barbay about Jeffrey Pittman yesterday. Quote, "My favorite thing about him is the violence in which he brings to the table." Watching him on film, I agree.
Quickly outside to Pittman. Loses the first and barrels his way over the second to pick up a State first down. 10-yard gain for Pittman.
Zach Arnett likes this. There you see Pittman come out, swipe that defender off, not going out of bounds. Never crossed his mind. Drop that shoulder, find contact. He's been a young man, I feel like, really coming into his own late since Woody Marks has been absent. He does a great job just getting north and south. You saw it on that play.
Marks lasso action in the Arkansas game. Here's Pittman again. He gets spun around by Childress after pickup of 4.
Boy, Xavier Thomas is 5'11", 185 pounds. So we have a Mississippi State defender down.
Down on the Kentucky sideline. Junior from Taylorsville, Mississippi, coming off of a season-high 10 carries and that road loss at Auburn.
Zion Childress came up, kind of got him around the ankles there.
Feels like we'll have some big moments for the Kentucky defense tonight. They might be a little gassed on this drive. Next play will be the 15th play of the drive. Tennessee gutted them with explosive plays, 3 of 20 yards or more, 7 runs of 10 yards or more. The final drive They couldn't get the ball back from Tennessee as the Volunteers ran nearly 4.5 minutes off the clock. Of the last 3 games, Tennessee, Missouri, Georgia, this Kentucky defense allowing 41 points a game and 474 yards a contest.
Some good offenses, number one, but that Tennessee plan specifically, it's a very different idea that you go into, different mindset. Brad White played the box light. I thought he had defenders in place to be able to make plays. They did not get ball carriers to the ground.
A really good backfield for Tennessee that made a miss right on the move. And he gets taken down in the open field by Zion Childress. Mark Stoops told us football is a game of momentum. They're looking for some on this drive, and that might be it. Forcing State to a 3rd and long.
The read by Childress, you'll see him come in just the left side of your screen, finally decides to just hit the gas and go attack the quarterback. And Tom, you and I have been calling Kentucky games for 7-8 years now, and one thing that is always present, their safeties will attack the line of scrimmage and do not shy away from contact. Zion Childress fits that mold perfectly.
State 3 of 5 on 3rd down. Right long throw. Thomas up the sideline, and he fights for a 1st down, and now they say he stepped out a yard short. No, he got it.
Watch your right tackle here, Tom. This is a quick throw. Dollar Bill Johnson knows he's got to get that defender down to the ground to allow that throw to even get out. And then, yes, it's an excellent play by Tayvion Thomas. Another one from Kevin Barbay. Get the ball into the hands of your playmakers. About a 10-yard cushion out there on the outside. Mike Wright saw it, knew he had to get it out there in a hurry, and he did.
Another one of those get 'em twos. 17th play of this drive for State. Wright hands it off and slip by Kayvon Lee, the Penn State transfer, trying to cut up field.
There's just a lot going on in the trenches in this football game. All those big boys up front, double team, striking and shedding. Khalil Saunders, an excellent job for that Kentucky D-line on that last play, 92 inside. See Lasoya, Cole Smith, that State offensive line. They've done some good things this year.
Those dudes must be gassed as well. 2nd and 10. 11 minutes and counting on this possession. Thomas gets 2 yards. The longest State scoring drive this season was a 13-play drive that lasted 6 minutes and 7 seconds. We're going to double that time in a moment. And they've been perfect. This 18-play drive, 4 of 4 on 3rd downs.
I can promise you, Tom, on offense, as an offensive lineman, you have the ball for 18 plays, you never feel gassed. That feels good.
They did have the quarter break in the midst of this drive. Get him a breather right. Chase to his left again. Looking for a block. And a U-turn on College and picks up 2. I'll lead him with a 4th down. And that'll bring on the kicking team. Andrew Phillips is injured, though, for Kentucky. He's one that got spun around. He's still down. Grabbing that left leg. It was a warm run around here today in Mississippi. Temperatures in the upper 70s when the sun was out. It's turned into a beautiful night. 4th down forthcoming for State at the end of that long drive. Andrew Phillips, junior out of Malden, South Carolina, kind of limping his way with the athletic training staff back to the Kentucky sideline. And finally, that Kentucky defense getting a 3rd down stop, and they'll do it and force a 25-yard field goal attempt for Mississippi State. And Kyle Ferry, freshman from Searcy, Arkansas, is able to fit it through. That was a marathon 20-play, 80-yard, 12-minute, and 29-second drive, and State finally on the board. Another beautiful weekend in Starkville. The weather has been Chamber of Commerce perfect. The inconsistency belongs to the state offense. How about this drive chart? 3 plays, 2 yards punt, 3 plays, lose a yard punt, then a 20-play, 88-yard drive. You squeeze the heck out of that orange, and all you got was a little trickle of juice, only 3 points.
But you have some things I think you can build upon. You've showed that you're going to move the pocket. You've shown quick throws can turn into positive plays as well. That's going to force the Kentucky secondary to play a little closer to the line of scrimmage. Maybe you can get a shot play or 2 in at some point.
Return for Mississippi State after a flirt. Let's take a look at today's Easy Choice, brought to you by Geico. Devin Leary.
Last week, a lot of folks thought that it was just inventing new offense for Liam Cohen and Devin Leary. Tennessee decided to play 9 in the box, but what they did most of the game was bring just 4 rushers, which when you block them with 5 or more, you should be able to pick that up. That left one-on-ones on the outside, in which Devin Leary found, located those, took advantage of them. Similar situation tonight. Mississippi State brings 4. Devin Leary, confidence in those receivers down the field. A little more space in between a defender on that throw. But Tom, I thought the receivers stepped up and made the plays more consistently last week than they had been making a lot of this year.
We're talking with Liam Cohen both before the game and on our meetings in person yesterday. As Leary fires complete to the edge, and a first down for Dane Key. It wasn't anything, to your point, brand new, but it was simplified. So we went back to a lot of our day one install pieces that really, you cut out a lot of the fat, you focus on what you're good at, and that seems to fit what Devin Leary is used to in terms of having maybe a smaller play.
Absolutely, and they sped things up just a little bit more. Some of the drive starters, even in situations like this, out of the huddle, hurry to the line of scrimmage, get the football snapped. Devin Leary thrives when things are going a little bit faster.
Ramon Jefferson is in the backfield. And Jefferson gets a carry. And let's get down to Alyssa on the sideline. Alyssa, this Kentucky backfield seems to be a little bit light behind Ray Davis at this point.
Tom, Jaton McClain spent about 10 minutes in the injury tent. He had that shoulder injury. He's still listed as questionable right now. He's been working with the trainers, but Ray Davis came over to him just a couple of minutes ago, gave him a thumbs up, and Jaton gave him a thumbs up back. So we're going to try to get into this game, but still here on the sidelines.
Davis getting a breather right now, and with McClain out, who had 30 yards in this game against Mississippi State last year in Lexington. Demie Sumo-Karngbaye has a lone touchdown tonight for Kentucky out of the backfield. Leary, man coverage on the sideline, and incomplete to Barion Brown. Coverage by DeCamerion Richardson.
Another example of what we referenced earlier, Tom. You get the one-on-ones, allow your receivers to go up and make a play. A lot of hand-fighting there. Official decides no call.
I've seen fewer hands with the dance floor at the Dark Horse Tavern.
From AK?
Yep. He's watching. 3rd and 10 now. Play clock already at 2. They snap the football, and there's a flag down. Leary trying to run for it. And the miscommunication for Kentucky assuredly started when they were late to get on top of the football.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 players moving at the snap. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down. Correction. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Well, Tom, all the movement pre-snap, and I feel like Liam Cohen has done something potentially every snap that he's played in this football game, whether it's a shift, a motion, a trade, something. That's where this crowd comes in and can hamper that just a little bit. You can get behind, have to speed things up. Communication not going to be exactly where it needs to be.
4th and 3 from just shy of midfield, and they will punt it away. And it feels like this heavyweight fight's going to go to the 4th quarter. And close throughout. Wilson Berry to punt it away. It checks up, And State will have decent field position. 6:43 to go in the half after that 32-yard punt.
All right, late second, guys.
All right, Dari, thanks. Shout out to everybody in Tuscaloosa tonight. Saw half of them on my drive through Gordo on the way over here. Mike Wright, convenience store numbers so far, 7-11 for 53 yards. After a slow start, misfired on his first handful. And he goes over the middle, intercepted. Pick six, Derek Jackson. How's that for momentum? Fourth defensive score of the season for Kentucky, one of the best numbers in the country. That return goes for 26 on Jackson's second pick of the season.
Boy, what a play. Watch 54. Middle of your screen, Tom, to the right. Read the quarterback's eyes, then locate the receiver quickly and then get back to the quarterback. That's an excellent job of having an understanding of finding the receiver quickly, getting to the quarterback's eyes, and attacking the football.
So think about the last two drives for Mississippi State. One was for 20 plays in 12.5 minutes. They got 3 points, and this one ends quickly. And a 26-yard pick six from Derek Jackson. Kentucky with a 14-3 lead here on this SEC Saturday night.
You all in a few.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Defensive score for Kentucky. They got a couple of those against Vandy earlier this season. Take a look back at that one. It's today's high-speed play brought to you by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
I mentioned the excellent read by Derek Jackson. You're going to get a stick flat combination that can go any direction, and then your flat combination is going to come right behind it. I'd like to see Robinson drive that defender off just a little bit more. Then it's obvious where Mike Wright needs to deliver that football. Either way, 54, Derek Jackson of Kentucky just makes an excellent play, reading the quarterback's eyes. I thought he had a very rough game last week. Now, Brad White told us this is a young man that's played Mike linebacker, Will Mike linebacker. It can be confusing in our system. It's a complicated system, but it also allows you to see a lot of different things.
State going to keep it on the ground on first down with Seth Davis.
And you can imagine, Tom, moments like that, having played two different positions off the ball in a complicated defense, you have a pretty good idea how to find out where the ball is going to be distributed at certain points in time, and Derek Jackson makes the most of it on that play. What a way to bounce back from a week ago.
Really, from the last 3 games for this Kentucky team, as Doran hinted at, 2nd and 5 now. And Wright will take it. And he gets bottled up and he gets planted. You know, going back to the pick six from Derek Jackson, it reminds me of the Bud Dupree pick six back in 2014 against South Carolina. That was a game winner, but a play like that for a team in a season just teetering on the edge, that can be such a huge momentum burst.
There's no doubt. Remember what Coach Stoops said that you told him, or he told you before the game. Momentum is massive. We have to find it. We have to keep it, specifically on the road. And Brad White referenced us a couple of weeks ago. Those damn effect plays in road SEC games, you have to avoid them. You have to just withstand them sometimes.
Oh, like a dam. I thought you were using the word differently. Wright left his feet and he gets planted in the turf. It's a loss of 6. Alex Afari Jr. with the sack.
It's an excellent job by Maxwell Harrison, actually, of retreating in coverage to where Mike Wright wanted to deliver that football, and I think that's why he had the second guess and then goes down, takes the sack.
There is an injured Kentucky player. That's Darion Henry Young, the Ohio State transfer. Athletic training staff tending to him. There aren't many options for Mississippi State at quarterback. They haven't gotten great play lately. And you could see Henry Young reaching for his left leg as he was going to the turf at the end of that play.
Boy, I hate to see him going down. Look like that foot just got caught, stuck in the grass. And I'll say for the second consecutive week, being on the field, absolutely pristine. Grounds crew here in Starkville done an amazing job.
On the Mississippi State side, Mike Wright getting the start once again tonight, his third consecutive start. Will Rogers is not in uniform tonight, not available. Chris Parson is a guy that they've kind of held on to that red shirt. Now only 4 games left in the regular season. There's a chance we see Parson tonight. He's been running with the second team, and the thought was, hey, if we get into a scenario where we absolutely have to throw the ball, Parson with his big arm would be an option to go to. But you just got to assume here we are, second quarter, the playbook is available for Mike Wright. Only a portion of it would be available as the assumption for Parson.
Absolutely. And I was interested to hear that if they were to go to, say, like you mentioned, a 2-minute style offense, maybe game on the line, that would be the option. Coach Arnett telling us that they would go with, and very high on that young man. The kind of worker he is, the fact that he loves football, what he puts into it. And there were plans even early in the season to potentially get him some playing time and try to implement into different game plans. Kind of didn't work out that way, but I don't think the coaches have any fear of inserting him into a game. They just, like you mentioned, worried about the playbook potentially being a little bit too limited right now.
Hate to see that for Henry Young. Be assisted back towards the Kentucky locker room. 5 minutes to go in the half. Bulldogs to punt it away. And this one takes a State hot. And that'll look good on the scorecard. Turns into a 56-yard punt, and we got a little acting at the tail end and maybe a shove. .446, and there's a flag at the tail end, and it comes after the discussion with the officials. And that part of it is inexcusable from Deshaun Page. He was frustrated by a shot that he took from Kentucky, but the play was over. Now Rylan Goody will try to get him off the field and away from the officials. You could hear him complaining to Will Rogers, he slapped me in the face. He may have, but it was done. Here's the tail end of the play, left side of your screen. Watch number 7 for Kentucky.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking team number 0. 15-yard penalty, first down. This is number 0's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
And to be clear, the timing of it makes it evident that it wasn't the interaction that he had with Barion Brown that drew the unsportsmanlike penalty. It was the continuing complaining to this officiating crew which drew the flag.
And he's trying that new trend that we've seen. I think USC first team that tried to do that, pull the player into the football, trying to get him to make contact, and not even close to it either. It wasn't going to happen.
Cats got a defensive score for their last points, and beautiful coverage on the perimeter on Brown, thanks to Camryon Richardson. His 18th consecutive start tonight. A State secondary that was refurbished in the offseason, trying to replace NFL talent. Emmanuel Forbes, who had a huge pick 6 against Kentucky on a screen pass in this game in Lexington last year. Leary 8 of 12 to start the game. Will hand it off, and Ray Davis finds a hole, takes it to the logo. They'll leave 3rd and 1 for Kentucky. What do you like?
Ray Davis still in the game. I like going to him. Gap scheme run that we just saw there, Tom, something Liam Cohen said last week he wanted to get more of a little bit earlier. Just worked. I potentially may go back to it here with number 1.
State's got 12 on the field. They got to hustle one off, and now they will use a timeout instead of gifting the first down. 4:03 to play. I don't know anybody in college football has had to deal with as much change and relatedly heartbreak as Mississippi State. This program, fan base in the state, has had to do. Here's a reminder. Pirate passed away December 12th of last year. Zach Arnett was named head coach just 3 days later, his defensive coordinator. In October, Rodgers broke the SEC completion record and then went out with a shoulder injury. So now they're trying to make do without one of the best passers statistically in SEC history. We ran into him at the facility yesterday. And Cole, your first question was, hey man, when are we going to see you? How you doing?
He didn't seem too confident that it was going to be in the next week or two, but he was in great spirits, which tells me that potentially things are coming around. We'll be back. He's throwed.
Yeah, we'll be back here for the Egg Bowl. We reminded him that. He said, I'm not missing that one. I'll play even if my arm is falling off. Leary barking at the line. Play clock at 1. Play clock at 0.
Timeout. Kentucky. This is their second of the half.
Something just seems to be slightly off from a communication standpoint with Kentucky.
It does, and we've mentioned this is a difficult place to play. It gets loud. This is a great crowd that Mississippi State brings to Davis Wade. There was movement on that play. Then you saw the communication. You talked about it. Devin Leary trying to communicate. Eli Cox at center was trying to communicate. It's all slowed down when you have this kind of noise.
And it's even complicated because of the shifts and the motions that Liam Cohen wants to run. One of our questions for him yesterday with how do you do that non-verbally with the cowbells ringing? And there'll be a lot of hand signals when they have plenty of time left on the clock.
Well, Devin Leary also told him, well, it won't be near as loud as Georgia, so we'll be fine. And it feels like it's had a little bit of an impact here tonight.
3rd and 1. Trying to get the edge. Davis has it and a first down. It's a pickup of 8 when they needed 1.
Well, I love the play fake. You're essentially showing outside zone to the right. Devin Leary keeps it. Quick pitch opposite direction to Ray Davis. You give him that much green, he's picking up first down yardage.
Davis has been held to 13 yards tonight. Kentucky had -4 rush yards in the first quarter. The first time they've been held to negative rush yardage in a quarter since the Florida game last year. Here's Davis. Huge hole on the left side. Catch up to him and take him down after a pickup of 4.
Starting to see Davis on the perimeter just a little bit more, where I feel like he needs to be. And Liam Cohen told me down the field before the game, maybe I need to open things up, spread things out just a little bit more. Excellent lead block there from Demie Sumo-Karngbaye.
So 2nd and 6. Dingle the lead blocker this time, and Davis bursts through for a first down.
So we mentioned the movement, we mentioned the different formations, and now you'll see 85 Jeremy Dingle is going to come from the left side of your screen, and he'll insert into the offensive line right there. And it's an excellent block on Buki Watson, and Ray Davis presses the line of scrimmage and presses his blocks as well as any back in college football, and that's what allowed him to pick up the extra 4 or 5 yards.
Here's Davis again. And Kentucky more than comfortable having this be a grinded out black and blue type game with an 11-point lead late in the second quarter.
It's funny, that play right there, duo, one that Liam Cohen and I specifically talked about before the game, and he mentioned last year and a couple years ago playing this defense. He said, you can't just go right at the teeth of this defense. He's like, duo, inside zone. I can't make a living there, but you do need to present it. You do need to show it to force that defense to still be able to play it the right way.
Leary hands it off to Barion Brown, and he takes it down the sideline and is able to pick up about 22 on that one. So he can't make a living with duo, can't make a living inside between the tackles. Found the edge with Brown.
Well, you can make plays with your playmakers, though. End around. Watch 6 in the bottom right of your screen. Right there is an excellent block by Dane Key. Sprung about an extra 10, 12 yards. It's the distribution in different ways, Tom. These aren't complicated plays. They're not new plays. They didn't install these during the week. They've had them.
Game clock operator, please place 1 minute and 22 seconds on the game clock.
But you get the football into the hands of your best playmakers, and you do it in different ways, different formations, different personnel groupings. And see, the huddle, I think, hides a lot. You get into that huddle, you come out, you show one thing. You get to the next thing, the defense has to adjust. They have to show their hand.
First and goal for Kentucky. Leary 2 on the clock after a check. Just get the snap off. Davis. And a flag down. Jen Johnson in on the tackle for State. Leading tackler in the league, leading rusher in the league. Davis and Johnson going head to head.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Defense, number 0. That penalty would have been forced, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's Deshaun Page, who picked up an unsportsmanlike penalty earlier this quarter.
You'll see 0 pick up the flag. There's the hand to the right side of the face mask. And I'll tell you, Thomas, a nice kick out block by Jeremy Flax right there. He'll probably take that. He opened up that space for the back to be able to cut inside.
So Kentucky offensive line finally at full strength for the first time since opening night. Into the end zone. Too wide for Dane Key. They got Kenneth Horsey back. Jagger Burton has seen some time on the right side of the line.
And they did an excellent job trading a pressure right in the middle of that offensive line. Right there, Eli Cox came off, slammed off that twist, 3-man stunt. That allowed Devin Leary extra time to sit in the pocket and deliver that football. Not accurate, but did not take a hit.
So the red zone numbers, Kentucky has not been good from a touchdown perspective in the red zone. 18 touchdowns and 28 trips. Last in the SEC, the slant. It is caught. Touchdown, Dane Key. Second consecutive game for a touchdown for the sophomore. And Leary has a couple of 4-yard touchdown passes tonight.
You're going to get the rub from Tayvion Robinson, number 9 for Kentucky. That's going to open up just a little bit of space. And when I see a little bit of space, Tom, I mean just an ounce of space. DeCarlos Nicholson has the coverage. Look at that, just millimeters. Able to squeeze that football in. And Dane Key, an excellent job, concentration, hauling in that touchdown pass.
10-play, 63-yard drive, 3:54 off the clock. And the extra point is good. 21-3, Kentucky leading Mississippi State. The quarterback position really has Mississippi State in a quandary now. Down 18 without number 2. Been starting since his freshman year for Mike Leach. It's a guy who has written the Mississippi State record book, and in many ways the SEC record book as well. Nearly 12,000 career passing yards and 92 career passing touchdowns.
Cool conversation with Tulu Griffin about Will Rogers before the game. Tulu said, oh, he told me I was going to have that game against South Carolina. He told me it was coming. Showed me on the iPad on the bus on the way to the stadium. And I asked Will what he saw. He talked about safety rotation and how they were going to be able to get him vertically off play action. And I said, well, what are you going to get in this game? What's there for you guys in this one? And he said, well, if it were me, 4 verts, we'd be running it 10, 12 times this game.
You know, it's killing that guy to be on the sideline any game.
No doubt.
Chance score to put it in the air. And Tulu's going to bring this thing out, trying to make something happen, and the Philadelphia native gets taken down shy of the 20. A season for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities. All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State.
Tom, I wanted to follow up with Will Rogers right there. As you just said, it's killing him, and it is. One of the hardest things to do as a football player is stay involved, stay engaged when you're not able to go. And Will Rogers, Mike Wright told us he's essentially become the GA of our quarterback room. He's charting blitzes on the sideline. He's acting as a coach right now, and there are a lot of guys that just check out. There are a lot of guys that pout. Hey, I was one of them for a couple of games. Took me a while to learn how to get back involved.
Son of a high school coach, obviously. And here's Mike Wright with the carry. Alyssa, what Will have to say when you chatted with him pregame?
Cole, you mentioned him standing on the sideline charting blitzes. It's something that's a little bit nostalgic for him. He did that in elementary school for his dad's football team. Of course, Gardner Minshew, the quarterback of that team.
Wright lets this one go. That's Antonio Harmon, a pickup of 7. And a timeout taken by Mississippi State. I just wonder if this is the score at halftime and that State coaching staff goes in the locker room and talks about what they need to do offensively. Do they consider a change at quarterback for the second half?
They're going to have that conversation, but I don't think you do it coming out, Tom, because you still have an opportunity to get back in this game. And so I think you give it a drive or two in the second half. You try to make your adjustments. Talk about what that defense is giving you, but I don't think you just make that move at halftime, no.
Can you get back into this game with the way this offense is playing right now?
No. But that's where the adjustments come from. Maybe some things that this coaching staff needs to get together, talk about, sit down with Mike Wright about, and you give him that opportunity to go out and show that he can do a few different things, alter his game a little bit to the way that Kentucky's playing him.
32 seconds remaining in the half. Wright fires a strike to midfield. State's got one timeout remaining. That's Justin Robinson on the catch. Dogs will hurry up to the line here. Wright flush from the pocket to his left again. And he'll throw that one out of bounds outside the pocket. 17 seconds left.
Boy, I thought he had 2 targets over the middle of the field there, but when you're flushed, I thought the protection was pretty good. Didn't really need to leave. 2-minute offense not going to be his strength. This is the 7-on-7 game that a lot of college football has gone to. It's not really where Mike Wright is going to be most dangerous.
We played against Kentucky last year for Vandy. That was a 3-point Vanderbilt win. Flush to his left one more time. And a hair behind Tulu Griffin. 4th target to Griffin. He only has 1 catch so far tonight. What's been a frustrating evening for this Bulldog offense.
Missed the twist over on the right side. J.J. Weaver going down inside, and Kentucky able to apply a little bit of pressure, get Mike Wright outside of that pocket.
That's a good sign for Kentucky to get J.J. Weaver involved. Bend but don't break for Brad White's defense. Allowed that long drive, but held State to a field goal. Wright steps up in the pocket this time. Now he'll scramble. 3 on the clock, and he goes down with 1 timeout remaining. 2 seconds left on the clock, and State will take a timeout.
Timeout. Mississippi State. This is the 3rd and final of the half. This will be 30 seconds. Game clock operator, please place 3 seconds.
So we'll see what Kevin Barbay has drawn up. Oddly enough, early in the season, I was at practice watching Mississippi State go through the Hail Mary plays, and even with the healthy Will Rogers, Mike Wright was highly efficient at it. Obviously, he's got the arm strength to get it to the end zone, and he also has the wheels to avoid some trouble. The problem is, or the execution for Kentucky has had him running out to the left, and that makes it a lot more difficult.
And you wonder, Brad White has dialed up a couple of those stunts, the twists to the right side of that Mississippi State offensive line, trying to push Mike Wright to his left. If you want him going right, though, Tom, you can solve that. You have a back, a tight end over there that just kind of walls that off, and he can escape to that side.
3 safeties for Kentucky, all within the 5-yard line. Inside the 5, Wright Running all the way back to the 40 and launches it downfield. Won't reach the end zone, and it is batted down, and that's how the half will come to an end. Mississippi State with only 125 yards of offense, and Mike Wright holding his left knee. Coming up at halftime, you can watch a live performance of the famous Maroon Band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. A defensive battle in many ways. Kentucky with a pick 6 for one of its 3 touchdowns. They've had a hard time moving the ball on the offensive end in their own right. But it's a 21-3 lead for the Cats, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Mark Stoops is with Alyssa.
Coach, how would you evaluate your offense so far?
Very spotty. You know, it didn't help when we gave up a long drive. You know, defensively, I think it was an 18-play drive. We had a couple penalties in there. Got ourselves out of rhythm a little bit. We did get the pick 6. We took another possession away from the offense. We'll be okay. We need to give them some opportunities.
What do you want to see more of specifically from your defense to get those opportunities? Well,
we can't give up the long drives. That's number one. We know, you know, he's a threat running the ball. We have to make some plays one-on-one. Offensively, we got to be able to run the ball more efficiently, though. We've been very ineffective running the ball.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
21-3 is the Kentucky lead over Mississippi State. Stoops should be in a good mood if this thing can continue. Get to the studio with Dari Benjamin and a guy who loves his own RD1, Chris Doring. As we get set for the second half, Devin Leary, Kentucky with a 21-3 lead. Couple of touchdown passes and a pick 6 for Kentucky to open up this advantage. But plenty of questions for Mississippi State at the half. Tom Harkle-Kublik, Alyssa's down on the sideline. Only 3 points, Alyssa, in the first half. What have you learned from Zach Arnett as to whether or not we'll see Mike Wright at quarterback in the second half?
Well, I asked him just that coming out of halftime. Are we sticking with Mike here in the second half? He said, well, we'll see. I said, does that mean he gets one possession and we'll go from there? He said, well, he did get a little bit nicked up at the end of the first half. He hasn't been told that he's out at this point. So it seems like they're going to wait and see how Mike Wright is doing, how this offense is moving here in the second half, and make a decision from there.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. That's good information to have, because the question is, if Mississippi State's going to get back in this game, how do they move the ball down the field?
You got to find different ways to do it. And with what they have been doing in this offense from the first half, it's probably not going to take place. You're going to need to push the ball down the field. You're going to need a little bit more balance. And if Mike Wright is not close to 100% with what he's able to do with his legs, and that limits this offense even more, you could be in some real trouble.
Well, really the only option for Mississippi State is Chris Parson, who's been their backup the last couple of weeks, but was also banged up earlier this season. And they wanted to get him some snaps and experience. They weren't able to. Read and React is your favorite show now every Monday night. Cole and Roman, what do we got tonight?
We're going to take drive starter here on the last Kentucky touchdown run. Watch backside guard, backside tackle, and backside tight end pull around on this gap scheme run. Ray Davis does a nice job playing off those blocks and getting north and south. But Tom, it wasn't that. It was Derby that Liam Cohen has been doing more of. Get to the line of scrimmage, out of the huddle quickly. Look at that Mississippi State defense. They're not ready for the ball to be snapped. So utilizing some tempo, different types of tempo, going a little bit faster, aiding that Kentucky offense late in the first half.
Derby being the terminology to go up tempo that Kentucky uses. Demie Sumo-Karngbaye is in the game as well. They're going to put him out a wide receiver to start. And
Game clock operator, please place 15 minutes on the game clock.
Jump the gun, starting the clock in the second half.
Thank you.
They've got Sumo-Karngbaye out there in the slot with trips to the left for the Cats. And here he comes. Leary going back that direction for a screen, and that's blown up immediately by Jett Johnson. Jett Johnson looked a little shaken up in the first half, doing the same here. All this dude does is make plays. He and Buki Watson, the best tackling duo linebacker in college football.
See that mouthpiece hanging, Tom? He came on Read and React earlier this year, and Roman kind of asked him about it, and he said, yeah, it's a nice face mask ornament.
Help his dentist build a beach house probably. On 2nd and 10. Out to the edge, and that's an 8-yard pickup for Barion Brown.
These Kentucky receivers are so talented. If you're going to give them 8, 10, 12-yard cushions, Devin Leary is going to be able to pick you apart. A lot of space to operate on that last throw, even though it sets up a 3rd and short.
Leary threw for 372 against the SEC's #3 pass efficiency defense last week against Tennessee. He's 11 of 16 tonight. Blitz up the middle, picked up by Davis, and nearly picked off the fingertips of Jed Johnson. And that would have been a huge swing for this state program as a whole, not just the defense.
I had a couple of these when we were here for the Arizona game. Excellent job just kind of reading the quarterback, having understanding in space. When Tayvion Robinson comes there, runs that quick out route, jumps the route, and as you said, Tom, pick 6 right there in his hands.
Xavier Thomas set to return. Wilson Berry gets into it. And I'll take a Kentucky hop. 45-yard punt. It is indeed Mike Wright to come out and lead this offense in the second half. We had a wonderful conversation with Mike yesterday. He said, you know, I got here late January, a day before ad drop, which would have exhausted the eligibility on that semester. And he said, I just feel like a new man now. Everything has been lifted in terms of the pressures that I had at my previous stop. And he was laughing about it. He said, I asked him if he was an old soul. He said, I go on walks now. I just go walking around Starkville, and if I get lost, I'll put it back in my phone and go left, right, and find my way back to the house. Wright keeps it and is able to pick up 5. I mean, you can relate. You and an SEC quarterback never had more in common.
No, I've been going for the steps here over the last few months, not as many during the season. Don't expect a 21, 22-year-old to say that they like to go on walks. Kind of reminded me of Mike Leach for a minute. He used to tell us how he used to go on walks all the time. I did feel a little bit of a conflict, though, with Mike telling us how he's an old soul, yet we see him in the Teletubby costume for Halloween.
Yep. He's not afraid to live his best life. Get that candy. Here's Tulu Griffin. And he picks up a first down, finding a seam in the Kentucky defense and a gain of 12.
In that Halloween costume that Mike Wright showed up in this week, straight out of Monsters, Inc. That's because one of his teachers here has a child who's obsessed with the Monsters, Inc. movies. Last year it was Teletubbies. He does have a big personality, as y'all said.
Great taste in hats. Here's Jeffrey Pittman. Gain of 3. Been talking to him about going through the transfer process, leaving Vanderbilt, being re-recruited again. He said, I really leaned on the same support system that I had as a 17-year-old, because whether it's my parents, my family, my close friends, those are the ones that I trust to help guide me. And so an opportunity to kind of hit the reset button on his college career, and he knew he was coming here as a backup to Will Rogers. That's going to be an incomplete pass, but I don't know what State had drawn up on that play. Try to be an interior shovel pass, and it was absolutely blown up on the edge. He's lucky they get picked.
I believe Xavier Thomas, you'll see him top left of your screen, is going to come on sort of an end around, like you said, from a shovel perspective there, Tom. You're faking the power play to the outside, but just completely blown up by that Kentucky defense. And Alex Afari Jr., an excellent job getting into the backfield.
Those plays, by the way, used to be handoffs. Not that long ago, but when Art Briles was at Houston, they used to all be handoffs. And then they realized, you know what, if we turn this into a touch pass and it gets blown up, no harm, no foul.
Absolutely.
We can just hit the reset button. 3rd and 8. Right on the run to his right. And that is incomplete, trying to find Griffin.
Okay, so the mobility feels like it's going to be okay for Mike Wright. We've seen them move the pocket a couple of times. We've seen a couple direct quarterback runs north and south. So we've removed that concern here in the second half.
I feel like there's a butt coming up.
Maybe got a little bit cute with the play calling on that drive?
Well, my counter to the cuteness would be they're at a place right now offensively where they've got to get creative.
I felt like you had a couple of things going. He forced it to Tulu there. He picks up the first down. He had a couple of different options from a passing perspective that were almost there. He just couldn't link up.
Keelan Crimmins to punt it away. Tayvion Robinson set to return. Fair catch asked for.
Nobody makes a living being cute, Tom.
Talking with the Kentucky coaching staff this morning, this afternoon, I should say. One of them said, how can these cowbells be fair? Maybe we should start our own tradition, like just bang sticks together. If they can have noisemakers, we should all get noisemakers. So, bring your 2x4s to the next Kentucky game. It'd be a different sound, wouldn't it? Just clap, 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 clap.
Nobody wants to hear banging sticks all night.
Here's Ray Davis. He was a hard runner. We got a flag on the far side. Ray Davis.
Holding. Offense. Number 84. 10-yard penalty from smart foul. First down.
That's Josh Caddis who gets flagged. Ray Davis is not just a hard runner. He's a smart runner. He's very cerebral offensive player. Not everybody is like that. Chris Rodriguez, for example, last year, according to Liam Cohen, would say, give me the ball and show me my path. Well, Ray Davis puts a lot more thought into everything schematically that they're doing and how his strengths fit in.
He wants to know every detail of how the offensive line is going to block, where the defense is aligned, where the defense could be aligned.
Huge hole for him again. He picks up a first down and, pardon me, got back to the 20. Short of the first down at the 23. A 13-yard run. And he was a stumble away from moving the chain again.
I'm talking to him before the Missouri game, Tom. It's just so rare to hear a running back who is that interested, first and foremost, in how everything operates. A lot of running backs just toss me the ball, man. Tell me left or right. I'll figure it out. Mostly because they're that talented. But Ray Davis that talented and takes all that detail to the next level.
Third in the country, 14 touchdowns scored. Here's Davis again, and he gets spun around, and Alyssa picks up the first down.
I talked to Ray Davis earlier this week, guys. He said, my goal every single week is to make opposing defensive coordinators uncomfortable. He talked about Tennessee last week, how sometimes there were 8-9 guys in the box, and the communication that he has with Liam Cohen, not only on game day, but throughout the week when it comes to some of that creative play calling to get him open in space. But he said in hindsight, looking at the way these defenses are game planning to stop number one day in and day out, it's frustrating. At the same time, it reminds him of the hard work he's put in and how it's come full circle this year.
It's been a tremendous season for Davis, and great to see him get all of the accolades. Now at his third school after starting at Temple and then starring at Vandy before moving on to Lexington.
Well, not a lot of people see it, Tom. You go back to last week. The large majority of the success that Devin Leary had against Tennessee was because of Ray Davis. Tim Banks had 8, 9, 10 defenders near the football on the majority of those snaps. Ray Davis not going to get going. You're outnumbered. That's what opened up the possibilities for Devin Leary to have the day that he did.
Fourth most career rushing yards among active players in college football. Leary sets up, goes deep, looking for his tight end Caddis, and it's incomplete to Camryn Richardson with the coverage downfield.
Boy, Richardson's had a big night. Excellent recovery there to be able to track down Josh Caddis. Best blocking tight end on this football team. Dangerous as a weapon downfield also. And showing some big time cover skills this evening.
Third and 7. Leary pressured, got a hand on him, but couldn't bring him down. Now the scramble drill wide open is Tayvion Robinson. Turns into a 27-yard gain. Robinson and Leary in sync.
Well, they tell you get north and south in the scramble drill. Exactly what Tayvion Robinson does here. He's got a little crossing route. You'll see him come across the bottom of your screen, and it's excellent pressure from Donterry Russell off left tackle. Robinson gets north and south. Leary finds him. But that's a heck of a job just escaping that pressure right there.
They'll try to run it with Davis. Good vision. And a pickup of 6.
J.P. Purvis may have just saved an explosive play for that Mississippi State defense. 26 at linebacker coming flat across, tracking Ray Davis down from the backside. And those gap scheme runs that we talked about, power, counter, the offensive lineman will block back in the direction that they're blocking back. Others will pull around. A lot of success for Liam Cohen here late in the first half and early in the second half.
Here comes pressure from Johnson on the edge. Leary, a dart, hair low, but caught by Robinson. Pickup of 18 and a Kentucky first down.
Once again, we mentioned the effect Ray Davis has when he doesn't touch the football. This play action again, linebackers getting sucked up to the line of scrimmage. That opens up space over the middle of the field. Ray Davis helping that offense even when he does not touch the football.
Midway through the third quarter, and a Kentucky offense playing
Ruling on the
a
field,
lot
a
of
completed
confidence.
pass for first down. The previous play is under further review.
I want to make sure this was caught. The official who was nearest the play signaled immediately that he got his hands underneath it. Looks like a catch there. Further review back in a moment.
The interview or two?
They interviewed.
Oh, okay.
Here's a look at that previous play. They went to further review and the call stood. So it's a first down for Kentucky and a pass from Leary to Robinson. Kentucky team on a 3-game losing streak. Mark Stoops talking to us yesterday about the feeling that this program right now is in a pit. And there's only one way out. It's to fight your way out, but as he said, listen, winning cures everything. Come down and get my first ever win in Starkville, then we get a chance to finish the season strong. In this day and age of transfer portal and constant recruiting, constant selling, not only to you but your fan base and your donors, momentum's a real and powerful thing. Leary on play action. Goes off his back foot to the end zone. Caught by Barion Brown. They say no, out of bounds. Whew. Injured player in the backfield is Leary. Took a hit after the pass.
More play action, and David Leary getting those one-on-ones, going to take the shot downfield. Barion Brown just about a foot out of bounds.
So Kentucky's going to have to go to the backup quarterback, Kaya Sharon. Pass attempt against Akron this year. Play behind Will Levis. Sophomore out of Somerset, Kentucky. And Kentucky will use a timeout.
Kentucky, this is our first of the half.
And the reason Sharon is getting an opportunity here, Mark Stoops fired up with Sumo-Karngbaye, was his hit that Leary took.
A little twist up front. Jaden Crumity comes through, grabs Leary late. Anytime you see that quarterback just release the football and then be pulled down, always awkward for the landing. Can't really protect yourself. Body usually torqued in a weird direction. It looks like Devin Leary going to come back out after the timeout.
So nothing seems to be easy on that side. I expect Leary just to hand this off, and he will. It's Ray Davis who takes it straight ahead. Hunter gets game tackled by Jet Johnson and his buddies. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Much more manageable 3rd down after that run play, and another excellent block with an insert from tight end Jordan Dingle. 85 been big for the Wildcats tonight, but 5 more to pick up here on 3rd down.
One of 2 Dingles on this Kentucky roster. His brother, 3rd and 4. Leary taken down by Johnson. No, he escaped into the end zone. Bobble, but they say incomplete as of now to Dane Key. And still incomplete. Bobbled as he went out of bounds. Took it to the ground. What a Houdini act by Leary. He had Key wide open. And the effort by Sean Preston to break that thing up and get his hand in there to move it around. Well, I don't know. And there it is. There's the bobble that he didn't complete the catch.
Yep.
Back judge saw it. So a field goal attempt for Kentucky now. This will be a 32-yard attempt for Alex Rayner. And the Cats able to cash in an 11-play, 72-yard drive. Youngstown showing tonight, up 21. Oh, Mark Supes was working the officials after that last call. He wanted it to go under further review, but the back judge was all over the call on the incomplete pass. And watch Dane Key failure to survive the ground on what would have been a touchdown catch.
Excellent effort. You'll see right there. Ball out on the ground. Did not survive the ground, as you said.
And Peter Buchanan, the back judge, was all over it from 25 yards away. Chance to bring it out. Here's Tulu Griffin. The always electric Tulu gets taken down shy of the 20. Let's get to the studio. Here's Dario.
Guys, we got a good one right now at Bryant-Denny. We are late in the 3rd. Alabama putting a nice drive together that ends with a Roy Dale Williams touchdown run. You add the 2 teams' possessions. They've had 12. 8 have resulted in touchdowns. We are tied at 28, guys.
Well, that looks like a thriller over there in Tuscaloosa. Meanwhile, another flag after a special teams play following the kickoff.
During the return, holding, return team number 89. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Daniels tonight, by the way, for LSU's throwing for 2 touchdowns. He's rushed for another, thanks to 11 carries for 163 yards. Michael Penix having a big game for Washington tonight. Marvin Harrison in Ohio State. I got stuck in the mud against Rutgers. You start thinking about Heisman candidates. Those are the top 3. But still a lot of football to be played.
Absolutely. We know what this LSU-Alabama game means. And
here's Tulu Griffin. Dives forward for a couple more.
Daniels finds a way to pull that one out and continues to have that kind of a day. It's going to be tough to keep him off the top of that list, in my opinion.
Well, it's almost integral if you're going to win the Heisman to have a Heisman moment. Billy Cannon did that for LSU with a punt return against Ole Miss on Halloween night. He was from Philadelphia, Mississippi, before his dad relocated. He went to high school in Baton Rouge. Tulu Griffin is from Philadelphia, Mississippi. Man, they had some talent there. How about Marcus Dupree? A little high school running back before going on to Oklahoma. Change of direction for right, and he gets taken down in the backfield. Heavy pursuit. Jamarius Dinkins, going to create 3 tackles against Missouri, comes in to take down Wright.
Middle of your screen, you see that penetration just come right through, and a lot of that done by that Kentucky defensive line, who's done an excellent job tonight moving flat down the line of scrimmage, sort of stretching plays out, forcing cutbacks, not a lot of space to operate.
Now 3rd and 10. Right, lobs it over the middle, caught by Thomas. Ends up with a gain of 1. It'll be a 3-and-out for Mississippi State.
Just trying to hit that crosser there, and Kentucky right on top of it. Just not a lot of space to operate. Andrew Phillips. Excellent job in coverage, almost get him to the ground, allowing his teammates to come in, corral and make that play.
Tayvion Robinson back to receive this punt. Keelan Crimmins from the end zone. Kentucky's going to have sensational field position. That one out at the 44, 33-yard punt. Scan the QR code to download the app for your chance to win. Brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
You mentioned Tula Griffin and all that talent. He was a little annoyed at Mike Wright talking about his Pee Wee football team.
He sure was.
Saying my team would take him out easy.
Well, how about this for guys out of Philadelphia, Mississippi? You mentioned Billy Cannon, Marcus Dupree, Fast Freddie McAfee, who ended up playing 16 years in the NFL. Not bad for a small town. Nothing doing on this run. Let's check in with Alyssa.
Guys, I've been watching Devin Leary on the sideline since he came out after that last offensive drive. He spent a few minutes in the injury tent, then came back out and immediately started throwing, talking to trainers. I saw them working on his right shoulder a little bit. Nothing but thumbs up, and he looked pretty good on the sidelines. Obviously, he's out there right now, but something worth keeping an eye on.
And it's interesting for an offense that's really found explosive plays in the Tennessee game and taking what that Tennessee defense was giving him. He's thrown for 156 on 13 of 22 tonight. Ramon Jefferson is in at tailback. Pressure, and Leary once again stays on his feet, but just for a moment. Mookie Watson came in to clean it up after Marcus Banks came flying in. Leary is taking some shots tonight.
Absolutely. Some great escapability as well. Banks just lined up off right tackle on the line of scrimmage. You see left side of your screen, and there he comes in. I believe Dingle was trying to spin out to be able to help pick him up. He got caught up in some traffic. I mean, Leary kind of ducks his head there and says, "Bring it on, big fella." You're not pulling that with Buki, though.
Oh. They hustle to the line. Play clock is at 3. And they don't get it off.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Run the play. Go, he's saying. I think the conflict seems to be, from untrained eyes, is an offense that wants to shift and move and motion, but there are times where they break that huddle late and just want to get to the ball and get the snap off. Once again, coming out of the huddle with 10 seconds left.
After a stoppage, just unacceptable. Trying to get to the perfect play, Tom, and like you said, you just got to snap it.
That one just off in the nick of time. Ramon Jefferson, 5th-year player out of the Bronx by way of Sam Houston State. Kentucky will punt it away at midfield. Talking to Wilson Berry before the game, you know, he's an Aussie punter, but he doesn't roll out anymore. Had back surgery recently, and they hired a new special teams coach. Asking Mark Stoops about it before the game, he said, well, our new special teams plan is to block a certain way. And it almost goes against what Berry feels like is his strength. And he goes down, and there's a flag on roughing the punter. But the protection based on him not leaving the pocket, which of course we saw Max Duffy and other great Aussie punters do by getting out of the pocket. The question here will be 5-yard penalty or a 15-yard penalty. It was 4th and 16. And the 15-yard penalty would bring with it an automatic first down.
Running into the kicker. Receiving team, number 17. That penalty is declined. First down, Kentucky.
24-3 Kentucky with the lead late third quarter. What a start to conference play earlier today. Ole Miss and A&M in a shootout. And Lane's team came out on top. Trey Harris 11 catches, 213 yards in a score. Sam Pittman got a win, conference win, the first win in Gainesville for the Hogs. Florida missed field goal late in that game. And Georgia was able to hold off Missouri 30-21. This game was tied at 10 at the half. New quarterback for Mississippi State. Here's Chris Parson. A great compliment to Parson when the plan was to redshirt, and that still can be the plan with 4 games remaining in the regular season. He really dove into the redshirt opportunity. Be active in the quarterback room, learn the offense.
Game, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Nobody seems to want to get a snap off here tonight.
Love hearing how Coach Arnett told us that Parsons started out on the scout team, said we couldn't keep him over there. He was too good. We had to get him real reps, had to get him over there involved with us as quickly as he caught on to everything once he arrived on campus.
They rave about the arm talent for Parson. He hands off on first down to Seth Davis. Gain of 7. And a flag down. Now, Parson was a little banged up earlier this year when they played Western Michigan. That was the plan, to get him some snaps, but it didn't work out. In fact, they got to a point where there was nobody else available, with Rodgers injured and Wright is the only available quarterback. Jake Weir.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 66. That penalty will be enforced. Half the distance to the goal. The down counts. Second down.
It goes against Nick Jones. Jake Weir was going to be their emergency quarterback and available in a scenario where he just maybe lost a helmet, had to take a snap. Jones, after the personal foul, taken out of the game. Parson delivers on time. That's Justin Robinson. Pickup of 7.
You mind if I go back to our previous play for a moment? I just absolutely hate that call. Guy's finishing a block. He's engaged with the defender. Play ends. He drives him to the ground. You tell me 300-pounder, 280-pounder muscled up against one another. He's supposed to hear the whistle and just stop. I guess it's just not. It's not real.
He's not real. Whoever's in the back of that plane is not real. 24-3 Kentucky lead as we head to the fourth quarter. Kentucky Wildcats looking to snap a 3-game losing streak and looking for their first win in Starkville since Rich Brooks was the head coach. 2008, Randall Cobb and Mike Hartline. Third down for Mississippi State to open the fourth quarter with Chris Parson at quarterback. 3-man rush for the Cats. And now the fourth hit Parson, and he left it just short. Antonio Harmon still down on fourth down now for State.
Parson had Keaton Wade from Kentucky barreling down in his face, trying to get rid of that football accurately.
Barion Brown will stand near the logo, with Crimmins, freshman from Melbourne, Australia, by way of Victoria University, on to punt it away for State. 11 of the 14 punters in the SEC come from Pro Kick Australia. That fair catch taken just shy of midfield, a 35-yard punt. Kentucky will be back on offense. We'll see if Leary will return to quarterback for the Cats in a moment.
What a game.
Dari, thanks. We think we've got a heck of a game here too. 24-3. The question in that game was, could Alabama score enough? And Milrose saying, yeah, with my legs we can. Here's Davis. Kaya Sharon is the new Kentucky quarterback. He got a start for an injured Will Levis in the South Carolina game at home last year. Limited action so far this season, has yet to complete a pass so far in limited time. Second and 10. Play action. Sharon slings it for a completion, and right at the line. Now let's say first down to Dane Key. Alyssa, what do you got on Devin Leary?
Just a quick update. He is in the injury tent right now. He's been in there again for the last few minutes, so unclear whether or not he was already going to be done for the day, whether or not he's done for the day with an injury, or whether or not he's going to come back into this football game. I'll keep you guys updated as I learn more.
Yeah, I think at this point, and with Alabama on deck for Kentucky, this is an offense that we know can use clock. And with a 3-touchdown lead, feels like it's Sharon's game the rest of the way. League's leading rusher, Ray Davis, has to fight for two. Buki Watson in on the stop for Mississippi State. So we saw Sharon in the South Carolina game extensively last year, and he had talked to Will Levis going into that game, and he told us, he said, the main emphasis that Will really helped me out with was putting bad plays behind you. Now, they had previously smoothed out his delivery. They made it a little bit more compact. 2nd and 8 now for Sharon. And Davis is able to dance his way to set up 3rd and 3. By the way, how about Will Levis in his debut? Tied an NFL record with 4 touchdown passes, and then had a really good game last night as well. Pardon me, Thursday night in a road loss to Pittsburgh.
Thought he did a lot of great things in that game. Obviously trying to force a couple of late there. He's trying to win the game as time's expiring, but still, I think showing some of that skill set that we saw in the SEC, potentially could take over that job.
Cats 4 of 9 on 3rd down tonight. And State is able to smother Davis, led by Jet Johnson.
Guys are such a good football player. I think Jet Johnson's the most underrated player in this league. The amount of times that I see him on film make a tackle that if he didn't get that ball carrier down, it's going to go for 10, 20, 80 yards. It's just over and over and over. Watch these instincts right here. Just shoot the gap and go. Sometimes it's a pressure. Sometimes it's him, just that read and react, that recognition.
7 tackles tonight for Johnson. 4th and 6. Kentucky going to leave the offense on the field. Play clock at 0. Here comes the all-out blitz. Sharon gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. Coverage by Ellington on Jordan Dingle. And a turnover on downs. State will have it. Down 3 touchdowns, trying to make a late run in this one here in the 4th quarter. Game here in Starkville.
Terminator on that team. John Connor.
You know, Stoops kind of laughed about it yesterday. He goes, I don't think I've ever won here. Well, you don't think? Oh, our program hasn't won here. Joker Phillips never won here. Rich Brooks won here in 2008. Deep ball. It is caught by Tulu Griffin down to the 30. 34-yard gain and some life for this State offense.
Nice job on play action from Parson. Look at that good ball fake. Set back up, locate that post route down the field, and Tulu makes a nice catch just before contact.
Longest Bulldog play tonight. Parson sidesteps a guy, tried to shovel it, and it turns into a catch by Jeffrey Pittman.
lot of space out in front right there. Could have just probably tucked that one and run.
So 2nd and 7. Four-man rush for Kentucky. Parson drops back again. And on the move, fires incomplete. Alyssa.
Chris Parson was someone who immediately won the hearts of Mississippi State fans as soon as he signed his letter to come here to Starkville. He was one of the guys who really galvanized that recruiting class last winter, saying we're the last class that Coach Leach ever recruited. We're the last guys that he wanted to join his program. We should wear that as a badge of honor. You guys were talking about it earlier. Coaches rave about him, players rave about him, always asking Will and Mike questions. He's a great student of the game and has really used this redshirt year to try to grow and now take advantage of these opportunities.
Facing a 3rd and 7. There is a unique aspect to him, with several, as he scrambles for this first down. And he is fired up. He's got a glove on his passing hand and no glove on his left hand.
Well, we've seen some quarterbacks do that for grip in the past, obviously, but nice job getting out of the pocket. He's been pretty decisive in the pocket, deciding to stay, go.
Parson has time and through the hands of his intended receiver, Seth Davis. After his first down run.
Fired up. How could you not be? You're running scout team, then you get pulled over, you're a backup. You feel like there might be a way for you to get inserted. You don't for a couple of games. You sit around and watch. Starter goes out. Maybe that's an opportunity. And now you're getting some legitimate reps against an SEC opponent.
Mike Wright on the night, 11 of 21 for 78 yards. It's again the offensive line holding, and Parson is able to find Xavier Thomas. 4-yard gain. Kentucky has seemed content. Sit back in coverage the last few plays. Now 3rd and 7. Bringing man, and Parson is able to complete to Justin Robinson for a Mississippi State first down. Ty Bryant had the coverage. That's a pickup of 9. There's a flag down. I think it's going to be at the end of the play, be a first down regardless.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, offense number 64. 15-yard penalty, result of the play, first down.
It's Stephen Lasoya the third.
Well, that's killer. Had some momentum, and quarterback's getting through his progressions, doing some good things, finding a way to move the football. Another one of those frustration penalties that we've talked about a couple of times tonight. That was it.
That's all I saw. So first down from the 20. Parson trying to pump on one side. Gets taken down finally and flung that one over the Kentucky sideline. Mark Stoops wondering if it was intentional grounding. He was outside the tackle box.
Was outside the tackle box and the ball across the line of scrimmage. Second down.
You saw Stoops right there saying he didn't think it went past the line of scrimmage. Officials make it clear that they believe it did.
You know, Mark Stoops came into this game, it felt like he was coaching for his life. Like, he's as tough as they get. out of Youngstown, Ohio. Winningest coach in Kentucky history. Parson delivers a little late to Tulu and incomplete. And you just get the feeling like the grind that it's been this season for Kentucky is that he feels that grind. He knows this pit that they're in and just how valuable a win would be tonight.
I don't think there's any doubt. And we've been around him in similar situations in the past where he knows they've had their back against the wall. We had that game where Lynn Bowden had to go to quarterback. You're down 2-3 quarterbacks. You get a bye week, and all of a sudden you have to try to reinvent yourself, have to try to fight back out. And what a strong finish to the season they had that year.
Jeffrey Pittman on 3rd and 10, and that'll bring up 4th down for Mississippi State. This is a season you referenced. 21 started 6-0, lost 3 in a row. Oddly enough, or coincidentally, it started with a blowout loss to Georgia, which really put Kentucky in a tailspin this year. Then the Missouri game, and then Tennessee. 21 able to finish 4-0. And they hit the reset button and find some magic late in this year. Parsons sidearms it to the edge. Here's Xavier Thomas to the pylon. And they say he stepped out at the 2. Good enough for the first down. But shy of the end zone. Pylon can't give the look, just the toe. On 1st and goal, Pittman straight ahead. Second and goal. Mississippi State's lone scoring drive tonight was a 20-play, 88-yard drive that lasted 12 minutes and 29 seconds. They settled for a field goal in that one. This is the 13th play of this drive. Carson chased backwards again. And that one did not make the line of scrimmage, and that will be intentional grounding. Field judge coming in to help, and yep, didn't make it back to the line.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 16. The ball we place at the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 3rd down.
I mean, you go play action there, Tom, and you put your running back on a 350-pound defensive tackle. That doesn't feel like great odds.
Remember Mississippi State playing without their leading rusher, Woody Marks, again tonight, out with an ankle injury. And a nagging injury. Looked like he was past it, and they played him again in a non-conference game. Re-injured it. Empty backfield here. Parson steps up in the pocket. Squares, fires back near side, and incomplete. And that will leave 4th and 18 for the Bulldogs.
I think he may have missed one right out of the gate here. Tulu Griffin, I've seen him after a couple of different plays, Tom, showing some frustration. It's apparent. I mean, this guy should be helping this football team win. Wants to touch the football. Told us yesterday. I'm not hiding my emotions. I want to help my team. I want to touch the ball.
He's got 1 carry tonight, and he's been targeted 11 times as a receiver, but just 3 catches on those 11 targets. Now 4th and 18. Parson can't quite elude that last man, and J.J. Weaver is able to take him down. Turnover on downs for Mississippi State, and Kentucky will be able to run out the clock. How about the game from Leary tonight? Devin Leary, 156. Oh, my goodness. Well, might want to block him that time. That's John Lewis, who almost beat Barion Brown to the football.
Well, John Lewis had a play earlier in the game. He hit a blocker like this, and
almost knocked Brown to Pontotoc.
Here he comes. Out the club. And go hang out with the hookers there in Pontotoc. Ryan and Danny. What?
It's like I'm working with Andy Kennedy again. Little room on the left side for Ray Davis. Want to tell us about the Hooker family tree?
Yeah, Danny Hooker, longtime SEC basketball official, played his college football at Ole Miss. Ryan Hooker came into Auburn as a quarterback out of Pontotoc High School. Ran the triple option in high school. One of the faster guys I've seen. Didn't work out, moved to DB. Didn't work out, moved to receiver. Actually caught a touchdown pass against Ole Miss.
Davis gets spun around. You're going to have.
And then we lost that game.
You have Thanksgiving dinner with the Hooker family this year?
Not sure I'm invited.
4th and 11 for Kentucky. They're going to punt it away. Heavy hearts for the Kentucky faithful. Big Blue Nation this week. Sam Ball, Kentucky All-American, retired Jersey honoree, and 5-year veteran of the NFL, died Monday at the age of 79 in his hometown of Henderson, Kentucky. Big talent, big heart. First round choice of the Colts in 1966. State will have the ball back with under 4 minutes of play. Our tribute to Sam Ball, Kentucky football great. CFP rankings came out this week. Here's how it looks. Top 4: Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State. Michigan, no problem with Purdue, despite the fact they lost the key staff member this week. Lead 41-6. Ryan Walters, Purdue coach, said we've caught him stealing our signs multiple times already this season. Ole Miss figures the climb in the poll. Big win against A&M today, and pressure on Parson takes him down. Another Kentucky sack, 5th of the night. Trayvon Ripka with the sack this time.
Good news for Purdue is it doesn't really feel like it matters if people have your signs or not.
Washington's in a thriller tonight on ABC with USC. Trying to hold on to that high-scoring affair. Stake their claim to the top 4 spot, and a drop by Antonio Harmon, who was banged up early in this game. Really great to see Harmon back out in the game. You know, I was talking with some folks at halftime, and I think it's hard to judge this Mississippi State team because of the injuries, because of the transition that they've already been through. But the one thing you can judge a team on is effort. And Zach Arnett's team has great effort. And I think it'll be interesting to follow that, Cole, over the final 3 games of the regular season.
I don't think there's any doubt Harmon, one of those guys we mentioned it earlier, Tom. He's really come on as a blocker the last couple of weeks. Malik Ellis will come in at tight end. He gives great effort. I think this offensive line's played hard the majority of this season.
It's a miscommunication with personnel there and have to use a timeout.
Mississippi State. This is their first of the half. This will be 30 seconds.
So 2 quarterbacks in the game for State. We've seen 2 for Kentucky. The starter, Devin Leary, coming off of a sensational game against Tennessee, and he was able to lead the offense at what looks like an easy win tonight.
Early play action, layering the football here for the quick touchdown pass. The escapability, probably the biggest surprise for me watching Devin Leary in person tonight. I haven't seen a ton of that on film. Good accuracy for the majority of the game. I feel like he's managed this thing very well. Liam Cohen put a plan together that gave him similar opportunities that he had against Tennessee. Didn't need to air it out as much, but fairly efficient, protected the football, and going to get a road win.
Incomplete to Cree Whittemore.
It's Maxwell Harrison coming up with a nice hit, dislodging the football.
And so the Bulldogs will punt it away. Viable time for Parson tonight in his first action. was like a slow motion attempt to block that punt, and it was good enough to force a bad punt. Watch this effort from Tyrese Fearbury coming in from the other side. He was 3 steps away from getting it. But he's like the left fielder that dives for a ball in the gap when he's 15 feet short of it.
Listen, he's on punt safe. He's getting an opportunity. I give him an A for effort.
I am here for the effort, 100%. Kai Sharon will hand it off. Ray Davis not taking any plays off. One of the things we're talking about with both staffs is in this era of transfer portal and roster churn, you get guys who are playing against their former team and former teammates. And so guys like Mike Wright and Ray Davis can offer the coaching staff extra insight into the other team's personnel.
It's wild the further we go in this season, Tom, to hear about how much this takes place. And that Kentucky coaching staff said Ray Davis got up in front of his teammates, actually gave a presentation on Mike Wright, his personality, him as a player, what to expect, possibly some things to say to maybe rattle him a little bit. I mean, and this goes back forever. I mean, I could tell you when I was at Auburn, our coaching staff left and the offensive staff ended up at LSU. Jimbo Fisher, Rick Trickett, some of those guys. And I can vividly remember the defensive staff when we played them saying, hey, come down to our meetings. We want to know what all the calls are. We want to know the protections. We want to know the snap counts. And I stood in front of our defense and we went through all of that. But in today's day, we did, yes. Undefeated in Tiger Stadium. But in today's day and age, the individual aspect of that with so many different players in so many different places that have been together, and you can actually talk to guys about the personalities of those individuals. It's extremely valuable, the information that you can exchange.
Straight ahead run was bottled up. And will stay bottled up as Ramon Jefferson gets taken up by Nick Mitchell.
And another portion of that, Tom, I think just goes to Ray Davis and how impressive he is as a player. We talked about how he wants to know about every play and how they operate and what could potentially happen. We've seen him in pass protection. We know we can do running the football. There's going to be an NFL team that's going to be really happy to draft that young man right there.
Cats will leave the offense on the field. Looks like they're going to run a play here on 4th and 1. This is a 21-3 lead at the half. And if both punters' parents didn't live in Australia, I would have said it was a great night for those families to watch their son play in the second half. They were both busy. All sorts of flags on that one. One lingering concern.
Illegal formation. Offense. More than 4 players in the offensive backfield. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Lingering concern for Mississippi State coming out of this game will be the health of Mookie Watson. Second leading tackler in the conference behind his teammate Jet Johnson. Took a shot to the knee early in the 4th quarter.
A young man that Zach Arnett told us made the transition so much easier with his leadership once Coach Arnett took over as the head man. We've had a chance to visit with him, and Coach Arnett talked about how he'll get up in front. If he needs to call some guys out, he'll be the one that steps up in front and say, that's not enough. That's not good enough. Not enough physicality. And talking about himself a lot of times also.
Well, he was on Alyssa's show this week, and Alyssa, he walked you through his pregame video routine.
Yeah, Tom, it was after the win against Arkansas. He said that he was so excited he couldn't sleep. He got up at 4 or 5 in the morning. He started watching lion videos. So like, what, on YouTube or what? He said, well, I pulled up Animal Planet. I needed to get in my hunting mindset.
They said, what does a lion do when it's hungry? It eats. Fair catch asked for. That was on Alyssa's show. Did you guys do that on your show yet, Cole?
Oh, no, we did have Jet Johnson on, though, earlier this year. I would think a lion probably hunts before it eats when it gets hungry, but different orders for different things.
How many shows do we have? How many people have shows? 4.
Cole, outside of smelling salts before games, what did you watch on your iPhone back when you played at Auburn?
Oh,
well, no, we had the giant brick cell phone. I didn't even have a cell phone in college. Actually, the $4.26 a minute that it costs, I couldn't afford that.
Big hole. And a first down run by Seth Davis.
Back in my day, I think you got the plan with like 125 minutes. What was the point? Well, he's going to be gone in a day.
You probably watched the Sports Illustrated videos that you got with your subscription. Pop in the VHS tape, maybe?
Yes. With the football phone?
Uh-huh.
Correct. Definitely got that.
NFL's biggest hits with Lawrence Taylor.
Correct. Yeah, Joe Panunzio, our special teams coach, he actually did pull out the alligators hunting videos, different things like that. We watched that in special teams meetings. Which I was on the field goal team, which did make a lot of sense. I wasn't really going to hit anybody.
Zach Arnett and Mark Stoops exchanging pleasantries. Hard-fought game for both sides, and Kentucky's able to snap a 3-game losing streak with a 24-3 victory here tonight. And let's just stand by with Coach Stoops.
You said the offense was choppy in the first half. What did you see in the second half to finish it?
What's that with our offense?
With your offense being choppy?
Very pretty. Not very efficient, not very pretty. We did what we had to do to get a road win. We needed a victory. I was happy. We talked about it all week, get the victory by any means necessary. This was far from pretty, but the defense did a heck of a job.
Yeah, how does that defensive performance tonight help create some momentum going into next week?
Well, you know, it's a team game. A week ago, we didn't play very good, and they bounced back tonight, and I figured they would. And, you know, anytime you go on the road, it's difficult. We need to put it all together and play good in all 3 phases, but we're getting closer in certain areas.
Speaking of going on the road, this Kentucky program hasn't won here since 2008. You've just changed that. What does that mean for this program this year?
Well, we needed this win. I mean, make no mistake about it. We lost 3 straight, and we're going on the road, a place we hadn't played very good. I'm proud of this team. Like I said, it wasn't pretty, but it's a victory, and we'll take it.
Finally, Coach, Devin took some shots tonight. How's he doing right now?
Yeah, he definitely did. Late in the game, he took a shot. He got a little something in his eye. We'll evaluate him and see where he's at.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Alyssa, great job. As always, Kentucky goes to 6-3. They're bowl eligible once again under Mark Stoops. That has been a regular occurrence and now a school record for continuity. 24-3, the first West Division win for Mark